hit push to start. Put to stereo. Super clean. Camera don't do it justice. AC works. No. Now I'm doing the thermostat, and then probably gonna put a spa fan on the relay just for better cooling. Probably change these hoses out too. So what I did is I wired up the spa fan using the stock fan switch wiring. I just tapped into it with because you need like a thermostatic fan switch trigger on the spa fan relay. So I did that, and then I ran the 12 volt to the fuse box, which is the same one that's tied into the battery positive. And then I also tapped into the 12 volt ignition, which is on the stock harness. And you can see it. I tapped into these relays, the relay wires. You kind of see the red wire tapped into it. So the red wire tapped into it. So that's the ignition. So when the ignition comes on, because both of those have ignition on the same part, and we use the one where the fan is. And then I had cut this wire. Well, I had cut the ignition wires, but I had to tie them back in. I had to just tap into it because it affects this wire because it comes off the same relay. So, and now when I turn on the AC, thing is taking forever to warm up, dude. I just changed the thermostat too. Once again, look at that super clean interior. Some mint condition. The fucking door panels, dude. Super clean. It's gonna be the next project. All the door panels are super clean. Thing's like so fresh. It smells like new. It's like a fresh, clean smell to it. So the door panel's super clean. There's the stop blanket here. I took this off with heat tape. Too much to make a little. This thing is pretty good, don't even need a shop. Perfect. Yeah, so now with the AC, that'll help it. Like when you're in traffic, it has a stronger fan. On this car, I didn't even want to dive into it, but the fan that's on the right side, it never came on. I don't even want to dig too much into it because the car drove fine like that. So I was like, fuck it, I'll throw one spa fan. Should be more than enough. The AC already works good. It's like 90 degrees right now. Shit blows cool. I took apart the underneath there, but I took apart the fan, and then I cleaned it because it wasn't blowing as hard as it's supposed to, and now it blows better, dude. It blows way better. This AC feels good, especially Like right now, it feels cool. You could sit in here with the windows up. But especially when you're driving in traffic, it feels good, dude. I just had to get a replacement. I gotta get another bank because the previous and I mean, overall, I was gonna sell this car for what it's worth, but it's like I'm already doing, you know, modernizing it with the Bluetooth voice, stereo, push to start, the USB cable. I'm gonna buy a legit harness for it when I convert it to multi-point. I could do the conversion myself, but I'd rather just buy a harness for it. It's just super clean. Yeah, I don't know, I like it. It's like 90 degrees outside, dude, and I'm sitting in here. You would think it's hot, but nah, the air blows good. The fan took forever to turn on too. I was thinking like, damn, maybe something with the wiring, but nah. Just tapped into the signal wire, because it's 2 wires. And you can match it. It's like it's a yellow wire with the green stripe. It's the same color as the one that comes off the thermostatic fan switch, the one on the back, you know, like the EFs, the one on the back of the block. So there's 2 of those same color wires, and then one of them is the signal for the AC. So when you press the AC button right there, it activates the fan. When you turn on the knob, it doesn't do anything, but you know, it'll kick on this fan, but you have to press the AC button, and then it activates it. So yeah, I had cut those wires, and then instead of tapping into it, so I ended up having to put the wire back. So it's basically, it's tapped in. Well, I tied into it with the relay, and then I tapped back into it with the stock plug for the relay, because I didn't realize that relay had the red wire with the black dots that controls the AC clutch, because the AC clutch won't come on the compressor. So once I tied those wires back in, or tapped into them, whatever, now it sends the signal to the AC clutch, and it activates the AC. Everything was working before that. The last thing I was just waiting for was to make sure that the fan was coming on with through the regular fan switch. And yeah, it works. It took forever, dude. It was just sitting right there below half the whole time for like freaking half an hour down there, and it's like 90 degrees outside. I mean, yeah, I just changed the thermostat, but I mean, damn, it should take forever to warm up. But yeah, that's a little update, a future project. Nice blowing AC.